AIPAC, I'm coming to tear your kingdom down.
This kind of rhetoric is inflammatory and divisive and incredibly unhelpful. Look, we're going to continue to condemn any type of political rhetoric in that way.
So that was White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre condemning Representative Cori Bush, who lost her primary election in part to a whole lot of Republican donors who funneled their money into the likes of AIPAC and other Israeli, pro-Israeli lobbies or pro-slaughter lobbies.
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just want to urge you to lend your support to TYT. You power our honest reporting. You do it at tyt.com/team, and we love you for it.
Let's take a look a little bit more at what Cori Bush did say that night. Here it is.
There is nothing that happens in my life that happens in vain. So if this happened, it's because it was meant to happen. And let me say, it's because of the work that I need to do. And let me say this. AIPAC, I'm coming to tear your kingdom down.
Now, if you're just a normal person, you see that and you're like, that sounds cool. She's going up against big money that spent, that outspent her 4-to-1. But if you take that in the worst faith possible that so many people did, and Jen, you can weigh in on here, you see that and you're Karine Jean-Pierre and you have to toe the line and you have to do what the Democratic Party has done to so many specifically progressives of color in Congress, incumbents, and say, that's anti-Semitism, because that's the words that Karine Jean-Pierre didn't say, but she absolutely implied that what Cori Bush is saying is somehow anti-Semitic. And we just have to stop buying into the BS.
Yeah, so as you're about to see, AIPAC and Democratic Majority for Israel spent at least $9 million, and then they bundled about $12 million, to spend against Cori Bush. So $12 million to buy a congressional seat and end your career is not divisive or inflammatory. That's beautiful. Oh, donor money buying a seat. Karine Jean-Pierre and the Biden administration loves it. Complaining about corruption? Complaining about $12 million spent against you to smear you in every possible way, including racist ways? How dare you complain? You're being divisive and inflammatory. Hey, what happened to unity? I thought we were protecting all Democrats. Right. What a joke. Look at her, relishing throwing Cori Bush under the bus. She defied Israel. She's the one who's divisive and inflammatory. By the way, we're sending 26 billion more to Israel to slaughter more innocent Palestinians. But remember, you guys are divisive and inflammatory.
Yeah, and let's get to those numbers because as you teased up, we talked about this, but outside groups did dump $18.2 million into this primary race. Everyone remember that. It's the second most expensive in primary history. Wesley Bell, who was Cori's opponent, their backers outspent groups supporting Bush roughly 4-to-1. AIPAC Super PAC spent $8.5 million backing Bell's campaign. Democratic Majority for Israel PAC spent $500,000, and major Democratic donor Reid Hoffman, also big donor to Kamala Harris, spent $1.5 million in support for Bell. Again, that happened. It played out as voter engagement, phone banking, but more importantly, and Jen knows this, those digital ads, the mailers, the radio ads, and then including one of the ads that distorted Cori Bush's face, just completely changed a photo of her and made her look totally different. Why? I don't know. Obviously, I said the second most expensive. The first was to unseat progressive Representative Jamal Bowman in favor of George Latimer in that New York race. $23 million was spent to unseat Bowman. 60% of that money came from AIPAC itself, which poured more than $14 million into the race in the course of 5 weeks. people. In total, progressive groups backing Bowman spent $1.75 million on the race. I want to just actually go to Mehdi Hassan here on CNN. He's making an excellent point, one that we've made time and time again. But 5 weeks, $14 million for Bowman. There is no way, no matter how many doors you knock, you can compete with that kind of money. Take a look at what he said.
One of the most expensive House primaries in recent history. The most expensive, of course, was Jamal Bowman, who just lost a few weeks ago to a candidate also backed by AIPAC Super PAC. We talk a lot about democracy on this show, on our networks. I think if we're going to have a conversation about democracy, we have to talk about the role of money, unlimited money, dark money in our races. $23 million, I think, spent in Jamal Bowman's race. $8.5 million by the United Democracy Project here. By the way, that's an AIPAC-aligned super PAC, which gets a lot of money from Republicans. According to Politico, it's the biggest source of Republican money in Democratic primaries. So the system has to be fixed. You can like Cori Bush. I happen to like her. A lot of people don't like her. Whether you like her or not, I don't think anyone's okay with a system where you spend, these groups spend millions and millions of dollars on an issue that,
Right. So again, the larger question here is how in the hell can a lobbying group, specifically a foreign lobbying group, spend this much money on our elections and a primary race? And Cenk, we talked about this. Wesley Bell is not just a vote blue no matter who. He is not just the same as Cori Bush, but he's a, he supports Israel's right to defend itself no matter what, no matter how many people die or are abused. No, he actually is markedly worse as a St. Louis prosecutor. The population in that jail has risen. Folks who believe in police reform and criminal justice reform have been deeply unhappy with him. But that doesn't matter because more money came in. I'm just amazed that like nobody calls Biden out on not supporting this incumbent. We're supposed to support, you've got a black woman running for president. He supports his vice president. But because she's a progressive and she dares say ceasefire, nope, you could get thrown under the bus.
Yeah, but I'm going to be gracious. I want to congratulate Wesley Bell, the new congressman from Haifa, and I'm sure he'll serve his home city really well. He will never vote against Israel. Here, this is the easiest prediction of all time. Okay, write it down in granite. Wesley Bell will vote with Israel no matter what. There isn't any force on earth that can get him to vote against Israel or Netanyahu and the right-wing government of Israel. So look, at this point, mainstream media and the politicians in Washington are beginning to be recognized by the rest of the country as a cult that believes maniacal things like, oh no, spending $23 million in a House race isn't corruption. No, AIPAC probably did it for the general welfare. Oh, they care so much about St. Louis. I mean, I know it's the American-Israeli Political Action Committee, but no, they didn't do it for Israel. They did it for St. Louis, they did it for charity, and Wesley Bell didn't promise them anything. I don't know how he's gonna vote. Like, if you believe those things, you believe a lunatic conspiracy theory, and the rest of us look at the Karine Jean-Pierres of the world and almost everyone in Washington and go, what a sad, pathetic cult that believes maniacal things that no reasonable human being could possibly believe. Of course, AIPAC bought those seats, and the mutant who won in New York against Jamal Bowman and this congressman from Haifa will never, ever vote against Israel, and every rational person knows that. If you enjoyed this video, that's because of our members. They make us independent, they make us strong, and they make us honest. Become a member today by hitting the join button below.